Wife pushed her pretending to be dead husband into the cremation furnace, just as she was about to press the button to start the cremation. Her mother-in-law almost fainted from shock and rushed over to stop her. The wife then removed her hand, but her mother-in-law ended up pressing the ignition button herself. When she realized the cremation process had started, the mother-in-law frantically shouted that her son was still inside. She begged the staff to quickly let him out. The staff explained that once the automated incineration process starts, it cannot be stopped. Seeing her mother-in-law suffer from her own actions, the wife pretended to be devastated, but inside, she was secretly overjoyed. She knew full well that her husband was just pretending to be dead. In her past life, she had been deceived by him. He faked his death to throw all his $20 million in debt onto her, causing her to lose everything as she paid it off. She was even hospitalized from exhaustion. It wasn't until then that she discovered the son she had raised for over a decade was actually her husband's child with his secretary. Even so, they still wanted to drain her of every last bit of value to get her mother's inheritance, and after buying a $30 million life insurance policy on her, her husband's family cruelly pulled the plug on her. Seeing the ugly faces of his entire family, she felt a deep sense of resentment. Maybe even the heavens couldn't bear to watch their evil deeds. She was reincarnated to the day her husband faked his death, trying to pass his debt onto her. When her son was about to cover him with the white sheet to take him away, she suddenly stopped him. Since he liked pretending to be dead to deceive her, she thought she'd make sure he died for real. But before that, she wanted to teach him a lesson. She slapped him hard while shouting that he was a liar, fakely accusing him of abandoning her and their son. Afraid his father wasn't actually dead and would be beaten to death, her son rushed forward to stop her, saying if she kept hitting him, his father would feel pain. This gave her the perfect opportunity to escalate things. If he could feel pain, that meant he wasn't dead. So if she hit him a few more times, he would definitely wake up. She then grabbed her son's hand and forced him to hit his father to wake him up. When her son hesitated in fear, she said she'd do it herself. Seeing her continuously hit her husband, people nearby tried to stop her, urging her to send him to the morgue instead. She claimed her husband had been a kind and charitable man in life, and that he couldn't leave the world without doing something meaningful. She said she wanted to donate his organs. As she spoke, she prepared to call the donation center. Seeing that her son couldn't stop her, her husband's secretary arrived at the hospital and angrily scolded the wife, saying her actions were disrespectful to her deceased husband. But the wife claimed that her husband had left a will, stating that after his death, his organs should be donated to those in need. She said it was the only way his death could be meaningful. The secretary argued that this wasn't possible, but as the man's wife, the woman's words carried more weight than the secretary's. Even though the secretary wanted to refute her, she had no grounds to do so. The wife had cleverly calculated this, knowing that if the secretary tried to interfere again, it would reveal her illicit relationship with the husband. The wife then called the donation center. The secretary quickly grabbed the son, telling him that his mother had gone crazy, and urged him to stop her. But when the son approached the wife, before he could say anything, she asked him why he listened so much to the secretary. Was it because the secretary was actually his real mother? The son nearly lashed out and hit the wife, but the secretary hurriedly pulled him back, afraid he'd act recklessly and ruin their plans. Just then, the people from the donation center arrived in the room.